Assalamu alaikum and welcome to lecture number 28 for the course Corporate Social Responsibility NGT 610. We're discussing chapter number 7, which is about sustainability and its challenges. The learning objectives for the chapter are to understand capitalism and the relationship between capitalism and sustainability, to understand the efforts to measure sustainability, and to know the difficulties faced in the implementation of measurement frameworks. So what we've done so far is we basically compared what capitalism is and what socialism is, what market economies are. और फिर हमने कहा कि जो market economy में वैसे भी private business concept नहीं होता तो automatically that goes away, and we were just talking about capitalism, and then we were talking about कि capitalism के साथ बहुत closely globalization का concept भी आता है, and then you need to incorporate concepts of responsible business within globalization and capitalism, so that आपको capitalism का concept को slightly reinvent करना पड़ेगा, and then you have to add the human face to it, और आपको organizations को भी human face को incorporate करना पड़ेगा. Corporations, again this is the last slide जो कि हमने last lecture के साथ end की थी, so we're going to start from there. Corporations must realize that CSR or CR is not charity and cannot work on Robin Hood principle. Now I'm sure that you know who Robin Hood is, right? And what is the Robin Hood principle? Yes, you take from the rich and you give to the poor. Now what we are saying here is that organization cannot use the Robin Hood principle within their operations. Why? Because organizations जो काम कर रही हैं उसमें ये नहीं होता कि they take from the rich and they give to the poor. होता क्या है, they take from everybody and then they don't give to anybody, right? So हम कहते हैं कि जी corporations को कॉर्पोरेट रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी को इंटीग्रेट करना है फैब्रिक के साथ, ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल फैब्रिक के साथ, एंड ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस को कॉर्पोरेट सोशल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी को दे कैन नॉट थिंक ऑफ इट इन टर्म्स ऑफ चैरिटी एंड दे कैन नॉट अप्लाई द रॉबिन हुड प्रिंसिपल टू देयर कॉर्पोरेट रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी इनिशिएटिव्स. अगेन इसमें आपकी सूडो एनजीओज विच इज जस्ट थिंग ऑन पेपर, एक्चुअल में कुछ नहीं होती. आप सूडो एनजीओज बनाते हैं, उसमें अपना पैसा डाल देते हैं, एंड यू नॉट डूइंग एनीथिंग फॉर द कल्चर. ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस शुड नॉट डू दैट. दे शुड नॉट मेक प्रॉफिट मेकिंग देयर mantra, meaning that they should not be only focused about profit making. They should also think about the environmental performance, the social performance, and the governance performance as well. And so sustainability will become an issue if that is the case, because if organizations are doing or following or thinking of corporate social responsibility as charity only, and they are only reciting the profit mantra, then automatically वो sustainability के बारे में नहीं सोचेंगे. And when that will not happen, then that means that the humans will be subdued to a business rather than the other way around. Because हम क्या चाहते हैं? हम चाहते हैं instead of the businesses subduing the human beings, हम चाहेंगे कि the human beings subdue the business, because the business instead of कि जो humans individuals जो हैं वो businesses के लिए काम करें, हम चाहते हैं कि businesses individuals और humans के लिए काम करें. And that is what this means. अभी क्या हो रहा है, या let's say आज से 15-20 साल पहले क्या होता था कि organizations were using individuals, यूजिंग अगेन उसी कॉन्सेप्ट से रिसोर्सेज भी यूज़ करें, कैपिटल भी यूज़ करें, एंड और सोसाइटी का पैसा भी यूज़ करें, एंड नॉट रिटर्निंग एनीथिंग बैक टू द सोसाइटी. हाउएवर नाउ दैट हैज़ बीन चेंजिंग ओवर टाइम, और अब क्या होता है कि इंडिविजुअल्स एंड ह्यूमन बींग्स आर डिमांडिंग मोर ऑफ द ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस, वेयर बाय इट इज़ नॉट द ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस कंट्रोलिंग द इंडिविजुअल्स, रादर it is the individuals controlling the organizations, and individuals pressurizing the organizations. KG, you need to be more responsible, you need to be more proactive in your approach towards responsible business. Now, danger of profits becoming the only driving force as long as business remain within rules. Now, as opposed to this, आपकी organizations कहते हैं कि जी we're thinking of profits while remaining within the rules and the regulations. So organizations generally उनका stance ये होता है कि जी हमारे लिए रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस हैं, और जो रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशंस बनाए हैं हम उन्हीं के अंदर काम करते हुए प्रॉफिट्स के बारे में सोचते हैं. इफ दैट इज द स्टांस ऑफ द ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस, देन a question needs to be asked of the organizations, and the question is, who makes the rules, who are the individuals who are making the rules, and most probably the individuals who are making the rules are the individuals who are owners of the corporations as well. So that basically means कि जो rules, regulations, codes and guidelines बन रही हैं वो भी वैसे ही बन रही हैं, which will benefit the businesses and will not benefit the society and the communities. So the organization stance कि we're only making profit while remaining within the realms of rules and regulation, that is not a very convincing that is not a very convincing debate उस पर नहीं हो सकती, and that's not a very convincing argument. CSR cannot remain a philanthropy but has to be woven within the fabrics of the organization. It has to be integrated within the strategy of the organization. It has to be integrated within the value foundation of the organization, and that is what is important. It cannot be considered as charity, it cannot be considered, or it should not be considered as philanthropy. Capitalism has to look beyond materialistic world towards the human aspect of doing business. So capitalism को आप reinvent करके, you have to reinvent it in a way that it goes beyond the materialistic world, and it starts focusing on the human aspect of doing business. It starts focusing on the human aspect of the world as well. And again, reiterating myself, we're not saying no to profitability. We're saying profitability or economic performance is good, but when it is combined with the social performance and the environmental performance and the governance performance. So all these four performances together is what makes a complete organization. If the organization is only doing economic performance, then that is something which is not good and which should not be catered for. So ये हमने बात कर ली कि जी sustainability के लिए ज़रूरी है कि आप अपने capitalist economy का जो concept है हम उसको reinvent कर सकें. पूरे पिछले lecture में और अभी start में भी हमने sustainability की बात की, sustainable development की बात की, और हमने बिल्कुल आपको शुरू में ये भी बताया था कि sustainability, the word itself is not very clear. जिस तरीके से corporate responsibility का जो word है, that is also not very clear और मुस्तकिल redefine हो रहा है. बिल्कुल उसी तरीके से sustainability जो है, that is also जो है वो उसके साथ भी यही मसला है कि जी इट्स नॉट अ वेरी क्लियर टर्म, ब्लैक और वाइट टर्म में आप इसको एक्सप्लेन नहीं कर सकते. सस्टेनेबिलिटी इज नॉट ईजी टू डिफाइन एज इट इज डिपेंडेंट अपॉन वेरियस परसेप्शन. सिंस द टर्म कैन नॉट बी वेरी इजीली डिफाइंड, उसका रिजल्ट क्या है कि डिपेंडिंग अपॉन हाउ पीपल परसीव, डिपेंडिंग अपॉन द परसेप्शन ऑफ पीपल, आपकी डेफिनेशन ऑफ सस्टेनेबिलिटी चेंजेस. मेरी परसेप्शन कुछ और है, आई एम गोइंग टू थिंक ऑफ सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट इन सम वे. आपकी perception किसी और तरीके की है, you are viewing things in a different way, you're going to see sustainability, or you're going to see sustainable development in a different light as well. Now let us just look at the various definitions of sustainability. The word sustainability is derived from the Latin sustenere. Now tenere means to hold and sus means up. So अगर आप इसको in its true sense of the word अगर आप इसको समझे, it basically means to hold something up, right? So that is what sustainability is. And maybe अगर आप इसको और detail में study करेंगे, why do you need to hold things up? So that अगर बहुत चीज़ें ज़मीन के नीचे होंगी, chances कि वो चीज़ ख़राब हो जाएगी या trample हो जाएगी या डिस्ट्रॉय हो जाएगी, चांसेस उसके ज़्यादा हो जाते हैं, प्रोबेबिलिटी उसकी इंक्रीज हो जाती है. However, when you're holding the things up, automatically that means that you're taking care of things, that you're responsible for the safety of that thing, और आप उसको, that's why you're holding it up. So that is what the word in its true sense means. Sustenere. Tenere means to hold and sus means up. Now sustainable development is development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. So अगर मैं पानी की example लेती हूँ, sustainability with reference to water is कि I use so much of water कि it is fulfilling my needs, but I'm also conserving water whereby I'm not compromising the future generations' use of the same water. On the other hand, मैं पानी इस्तेमाल करती जाती हूँ without even a thought कि जी पानी ख़त्म हो सकता है, then the chances are कि कल को वो पानी ख़त्म हो जाएगा and future generations will not be able to use that much of water. Now this is what is a concept which goes against sustainability. So sustainability basically is development that means a development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. This is by WCED in 1987, right? Another definition of sustainability is finding a balance between economic prosperity, environmental quality, and the element in which business is intended to overlook social justice, moves organization in an absolute state of sustainability. So जब हम sustainability की बात करते हैं, somebody else in 1999 gave this definition, that it is a balance between economic prosperity and environmental quality and social justice. So social justice, environmental quality and economic prosperity, इन तीन concepts को जब आप साथ लेकर चलते हैं, जब आप balance create करते हैं इन तीनों चीज़ों में, and then you take them or bring them forward, that is what the absolute state of sustainability is. The last definition that we will talk about is the sustainability, or a sustainable society is one that lives within the self-perpetuating limit of its environment. So societies who recognize कि environment की limit है, societies who recognize कि scarcity of resources है, societies which recognize कि जी the things that we're using today are not there forever. हो सकता है कि जी कल को ये ख़त्म हो जाए, कल को हमारे पास ये available ना हो. With this realization in mind, the societies are living within their environment, and this realization that they have is what we call as sustainability, and this is what is the definition of sustainability. So as I said earlier as well, जब sustainability की भी बात करेंगे, various different people have given various different definition of sustainability. Now sustainability is measured through the lens of either social development and justice or human welfare and social justice. So depending upon कि आपकी perception कैसी है, how you view things and what you think is right and what you think is not right, you can view sustainability either with respect to social development and justice or with respect to human welfare and social justice. Because of this, sustainability is a buzzword, and इतनी सारी definitions हैं sustainability की, perception related है sustainability. It is because of all these reasons कि today, irrespective के sustainable development, sustainability is an extremely important concept, लेकिन उसकी importance उतनी नहीं रही because of these confusions जो कि sustainability की definition के साथ आई हैं, and sustainability is more used as a buzzword कि जी it's a big word to use. आप कहते हैं sustainable development, and the other person will be impressed by you कि अच्छा sustainable development, उफ इसको तो बड़े words आते हैं. So today, because of these confusions की definitions हैं, perception based है, the sustainability का concept perception based है, sustainability की importance थोड़ी सी कम होती है, and it is more used as a buzzword rather than a word जो कि जिसकी बहुत vast implications हैं. However, important as it is, the dialogue of values that defies consensual definition. So this is basically कि जी आप irrespective कि people use sustainability as a buzzword, it should be considered very very important because it is basically a dialogue of values. Sustainability में क्योंकि आपकी इतनी performances आती हैं, आप environmental quality की बात करते हैं, आप economic prosperity की बात करते हैं, आप social justice की बात करते हैं, multiple stakeholders की needs और उनकी needs की fulfillment की बात करते हैं कि it has to be a dialogue of values, it has to be a dialogue between stakeholders. Only then you will be able to really understand what sustainability is. So irrespective के sustainability को define करना मुश्किल है, irrespective के sustainability को understand करना शायद मुश्किल हो, irrespective के sustainability की understanding is dependent upon the perception of people. You need to realize that sustainability or sustainable development is an extremely important concept today, and everything that organizations do today, everything that you and I are doing today should have its we should see that whatever we're doing today, when I say we, I mean me, you and the organization, we should see that हमारे actions की sustainable implications क्या हैं, हमारे actions जो हैं वो sustainable development को are they moving towards sustainable development or are they hindering sustainable development? और अगर hinder कर रहे हैं then we need to rectify our actions immediately, और अगर they are moving for or in favor of sustainable development तो हमें अपने own actions को और strengthen करना है. और उस किस्म जैसे और एक्शंस करने हैं. ना बिकॉज ऑफ ऑल दीज कन्फ्यूजन्स जो कि हमें सस्टेनेबल डेवलप या सस्टेनेबिलिटी की डेफिनेशंस में आई, देयर वाज अ रिपोर्ट by the name of Brundtland जो कि बनाई गई थी, and the purpose of this particular report was to define sustainability, and that was the core objective. Just because कि इस report से पहले बहुत सारी definitions थी sustainability की, बहुत perception based view था sustainability के बारे में, इन सब चीज़ों को ख़त्म करने के लिए to have a single good definition or to have or to understand what sustainability is, आपकी Brundtland report जो थी वो publish हुई. Now we're going to discuss that in the next few slides. We're going to see what that was, कैसे बनी, कैसे compiled हुई and all that. The report of the Brundtland Commission, Our Common Future, that was the name of the report. Again, you will be able to find a lot of references about the Brundtland report. Just write these two words in the Google search bar and you will get so many links. So in addition to what I show you in the slides, and in addition to the discussion we will have on this report in this lecture, I would also like you to please search this up on the internet as well. Now, the report of the Brundtland Commission, which was called Our Common Future, was published by Oxford University Press in 1987 and was welcomed by the General Assembly resolution, the UN General Assembly resolution. So you can understand the importance of this commission and the importance of this report, that it was welcomed by UN. And again आपको उस चीज़ की उस टास्क की इम्पोर्टेंस का पता चल जाता है कि सच एन इम्पोर्टेंट इंस्टीट्यूशन लाइक यूएन, जब यूएन की जनरल असेंबली किसी की रेजोल्यूशन या यूएन की जनरल असेंबली किसी रिपोर्ट को वेलकम कर रही है, सो यू ऑटोमेटिकली रियलाइज कि वो रिपोर्ट कितनी इम्पोर्टेंट होगी. The document was the culmination of a 900 days international exercise which catalogued, analyzed and synthesized written submissions and experts' testimony from senior government representatives, scientists and experts, research institutes, industrialists, representatives of non-governmental organizations and the general public. So our Common Future report, this report was made in 900 days, and within these 900 days आपने information collect की, उसको catalog किया, उसको analyze किया, उसको summarize किया, उसको synthesize किया, and the information was collected from a vast number of resources. उसमें आपके senior government representatives थे, उसमें आपके scientists थे, उसमें आपके experts थे, research institutes थे, industrialists थे, representative from non-governmental organizations थी, or the general public थी, and all of them gave their views at basically public hearings which were conducted throughout the world. On public hearings के through इन सारे लोगों ने आपकी जो Brundtland Commission को feedback दिया, और उनकी feedback पर आपकी Our Common Future की reports जो थी वो combine हुई और बनी. The Brundtland Commission's mandate was, the mandate or the agenda for the commission was threefold. And what was the agenda? To re-examine the critical issues of environment and development and to formulate innovative, concrete and realistic action proposals to deal with them. So the very first thing that the Brundtland Commission was supposed to do was to re-examine the critical issues of environment and development and to formulate innovative, creative, concrete and realistic actions proposals to deal with them. The second mandate was to strengthen international cooperation on environment and development and assess and propose a new forms of cooperation that can break out of existing patterns and influence policies and events in the direction of needed change. So the second mandate was, एक तो आपने देखना है कि जी international cooperation कैसी हो रही है in the field of environment and development, and then the commission also had to come up with better ideas, had to come up with innovative ideas and had to come up with creative ideas के जो cooperations हो रही हैं आप उनको next level पर कैसे लेकर जाएं. The third mandate was to raise the level of understanding and commitment to actions on the part of individuals, voluntary organizations, businesses, institutes and governments. Again, ये वाली चीज़ हमने पहले भी पढ़ ली कि it is one thing कि organizations disclosure करें अपनी corporate responsibility के बारे में, but it is another thing कि आपकी individuals को understanding होनी चाहिए या knowledge होनी चाहिए कि उन disclosures को understand कर सकें, because the disclosures will not be important if the individuals do not have the expertise authorities to understand what those disclosures say. So again, it is extremely important कि आप level of understanding and commitment अपने stakeholders का raise करें so that they understand what is going around them. The Commission focused its attention on the areas of population, food security, the loss of species and genetic resources, energy industry and human settlements, realizing that all of these are connected and cannot be treated in isolation from one another. So basically ये सब चीज़ें जिसको कमीशन ने देखा, जिसके बारे में कमीशन ने रिपोर्ट बनाई, that was population ज़्यादा होगी तो आपका फूड सिक्योरिटी का मसला आएगा, बिकॉज इफ अ लॉट ऑफ पॉपुलेशन ज़्यादा होती है तो फिर आपकी प्रोडक्शन ऑफ फूड शायद इतनी ज़्यादा ना हो, तो फिर फूड सिक्योरिटी का प्रॉब्लम आएगा. फूड सिक्योरिटी का मसला आएगा तो लॉस ऑफ स्पीशीज जेनेटिक रिसोर्सेज का यूज़ होगा, जो आजकल आप बात करते हैं कि जी आपके ग्रोथ हार्मोन्स आपके वेजिटेबल्स और फ्रूट्स को लग जाते हैं या आप उनको इंजेक्ट कर देते हैं, एज अ रिजल्ट ऑफ विच द फ्रूट्स आर बिगर, बट देन उनको आर्टिफिशियली ग्रोन फ्रूट्स होते हैं, उसमें उसकी बात आना शुरू हो जाएगी. एनर्जी क्राइसिस शुरू हो जाएगा जो कि आपको पाकिस्तान में नज़र आता है. इंडस्ट्री इफेक्ट होगी एंड मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंटली ह्यूमन सेटलमेंट्स भी इफेक्ट होंगे, बिकॉज आपका जो मैस है, लैंड मास है, वो तो एक ही रहेगा ना, इट कैन नॉट इंक्रीज, जितना है उतना ही रहेगा. सो पाकिस्तान को जब आप देखते हैं, जो पाकिस्तान का एरिया है इट्स गोइंग टू रिमेन द सेम. अब हम 18 करोड़ हो जाएं या 25 करोड़ हो जाएं या 50 करोड़ हो जाएं, the area of Pakistan is going to remain the same. And then just imagine कि अगर हम आज इन चीज़ों के बारे में नहीं सोचते एज ए नेशन, तो हमें कल कितनी और प्रॉब्लम्स हो जाएंगी, चाहे वो फूड सिक्योरिटी के बारे में, लॉस ऑफ स्पीशीज़ के बारे में, ह्यूमन सेटलमेंट के बारे में हो, एनर्जी के बारे में हो या इंडस्ट्री के बारे में हो. So the Commission took all of these areas together because they thought, and they rightly thought, that all of these are interconnected with one another. Population starting point होता है और वो सब चीज़ों को affect करता है, और that is why the Commission took all of these things together. The Birkeland Commission report recognized that human resource development in the form of poverty reduction, gender equity and wealth redistribution was crucial to formulating strategies for environmental conservation, and it also recognized that environmental limits to economic growth in industrialized and industrializing societies existed. So basically, जब आप ह्यूमन रिसोर्स डेवलपमेंट की बात करते हैं, the Commission recognized the importance of human resource development, because development of human resource is extremely important to formulating a strategies with reference to environmental conservation. Rather, जब आप अपनी human resource को develop करेंगे, that means कि आप अपनी human resource को educate कर रहे हैं, उनकी qualification बढ़ा रहे हैं, उनकी knowledge base बढ़ा रहे हैं, and automatically an increased qualified worker जिसके पास ज़्यादा knowledge होगी, वो ज़्यादा productive workforce होगा, वो कितनी जगहों पर काम कर लेगा. Now, just assume कि एक बंदा जो पढ़ा लिखा नहीं है और एक जो qualified workforce है, उसका जो the way that problems are viewed वो different होंगे, the way solutions are evolved वो different होंगे. So automatically the Commission realized कि जो human resource development है, that's extremely important for so many environmental and social issues. As such, the report offered analysis, broad remedies and the recommendations for a sustainable course of development. So the purpose of the board was keeping in line all these things. उसने सब 900 days में सब stakeholders, सब entities, सब groups से feedback लेकर जो चीज़ें जो दी, that was basically in the form of analysis, broad remedies and recommendations कि आप sustainable course of development को कैसे achieve कर सकते हैं. How can you ensure sustainable development in a community or in an economy or in a country within such societies. Now, however, the report was unable to identify the mode of production that are responsible for degradation of the environment, and in the absence of analyzing the principles governing market-led economic growth, the report postulated that such growth could be reformed and expanded. This lack of analysis resulted in obfuscated introduction of the term sustainable development. So now we are talking about the good and the bad points of the report. Okay, on the good side, what the report did was it basically told us कि जी what are the factors जो कि sustainable development को contribute करते हैं या के लिए contribute करते हैं, और इन लोगों को, countries को, economies को क्या करना चाहिए to ensure sustainable development within their countries. On the other hand, report ने सिर्फ एनालिसिस दिया, ब्रॉड रिकमेंडेशंस दी और रेमेडीज़ थी, लेकिन रिपोर्ट में बहुत सारी चीज़ें रह गई थी, बहुत सारे एनालिसिस रह गए थे जहाँ पर रिपोर्ट जो थी इट वाज नॉट एबल टू आइडेंटिफाई कि जी एनवायरमेंटल डिग्रेडेशन की व्हाट आर द फैक्टर्स विच आर रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर एनवायरमेंटल डिग्रेडेशन एंड अदर थिंग्स। रिपोर्ट जो थी इन शॉर्ट उसमें रेमेडीज़ और रिकमेंडेशंस तो दी गई बट बहुत सारे एस्पेक्ट्स जो थे वो उनको केटर फॉर नहीं किया गया, एज अ रिजल्ट ऑफ विच आपकी जो सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट की डेफिनेशन थी वो उतनी अच्छी नहीं हुई जितनी अच्छी एक्सपेक्टेड थी। The report deals with sustainable development and the change of politics needed for achieving it. So the purpose again, जो अभी हमने पिछली स्लाइड में नेगेटिव एस्पेक्ट ऑफ द रिपोर्ट की बात की, आप उसको थोड़ी देर साइड पर रख लीजिए, बिकॉज द रिपोर्ट वाज अ माइलस्टोन विद रेफरेंस टू कि आप विद रेफरेंस टू डिफाइनिंग सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट और विद रेफरेंस टू डिफाइनिंग व्हाट सस्टेनेबिलिटी इज। सो वी आर नॉट गोइंग टू लुक एट द बैड साइड और द डाउन साइड ऑफ द रिपोर्ट, विच इज गोइंग टू फोकस ऑन द पॉजिटिव्स दैट द रिपोर्ट ब्रॉट for sustainability. The report deals with sustainable development and the change of politics needed for achieving it. The definition of this term in the report is quite well known and often cited. So through this report, we now have a very good definition of sustainability, which was not there before. Sustainable development is development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. It contains two key concepts. So sustainability की जो सबसे ideal definition है वो इस report ने दी, which is basically it is about meeting the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. So जब हम corporate social responsibility या corporate responsibility की बात करते हैं और उसको sustainability से link करते हैं, तो that is again what this is about. कि जी जब हम corporate responsibility की बात करते हैं, a very layman definition of corporate responsibility is that you need to preserve your environment in the way so that your future generations can get at least what you are getting today. हम अपने future generations के लिए environment और ख़राब नहीं करना चाहते, हम अपनी future generations के लिए environment और society को further degrade नहीं करना चाहते. Either we want to improve it for them or we want to reduce or minimize the degradation जो कि हम कर रहे हैं. So that is what sustainability is. Now, sustainability contains two key concepts. One is the concept of needs, in particular the essential needs of the world's poor, to which overriding priority should be given. So जब हम sustainability की बात करते हैं, sustainability is about ensuring that the needs of the present are fulfilled without compromising the needs of the future. But it will contain two aspects to it. One is the need recognition. Need recognition is that you need to understand the needs of the poor, and then once you understand and identify the needs of the poor, you need to give those needs priority. So that is what sustainability is, and that is why जब हम बात करते हैं ना कि जी आपका हमने पिछली स्लाइड में बात की कि it was all about population, food security, loss of species, energy industry and human settlement. That is exactly इन सब चीज़ों से आपकी पुअर की नीड्स जो हैं वो रिलेटेड हैं. सो आपका सस्टेनेबिलिटी में एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्टर या एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट ऑफ सस्टेनेबिलिटी इज दैट यू नीड टू सी दैट द नीड्स ऑफ द पुअर आर मेट एंड दैट दे आर गिवन प्रायोरिटी एंड देन दे शुड बी focused on priority basis. The second aspect or the second key to the concept of sustainability is the idea of limitation imposed by the state of technology and social organization on the environment's ability to meet present and future needs. This is where scarcity of resources come into being. This is where scarcity of resources is being talked about. Okay, whatever resources the environment has, whatever natural resources the environment has, they're not there forever. जितने और जिस तेज़ी से आप उनको एक्सट्रैक्ट करेंगे, there will come a time when you will be left with no natural resources. So आपको देखना है, you need to make a plan, you need to make a strategy, you need to devise a system, you need to devise your processes and your operations in a way that you use your natural resources with this concept कि जी वो limited हैं. They're not there forever. वो unlimited नहीं, because unlimited अगर होंगे तब तो काम बहुत आसान है. Then you can have as much as you like. Then you can extract as much as you want. But since they're not unlimited, rather they're limited, you have to have a strategy. आपको again वो tragedy of commons को ज़हन में रखना पड़ेगा. उस केस में जो ग्रास थी वो ख़त्म हो गई बिकॉज एवरीबडी थॉट ऑफ देयर ओन सेल्फ इंटरेस्ट एंड दे डिड नॉट थिंक अबाउट द फ्यूचर। इस केस में आपको ये देखना पड़ेगा कि जो आपकी नेचुरल रिसोर्सेज हैं वो दे आर नॉट देयर फॉर एवर, दे आर लिमिटेड। व्हाट स्ट्रैटेजी कैन यू इंश्योर कि आप उनको ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा अरसे के लिए इस्तेमाल कर सकें। सो दैट दीज आर द टू की कॉन्सेप्ट्स जो कि सस्टेनेबिलिटी के कॉन्सेप्ट के साथ आप रिलेट कर सकते हैं। वन इज़ द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ नीड एंड द अदर इज़ द आइडिया ऑफ लिमिटेशन। Now, the three main pillars of sustainable development include economic growth, environmental protection and social quality. So जब भी आप sustainable development की बात करेंगे, sustainable development is about these three things: economic growth, environmental protection and social equality. Again, जैसे हमने कहा था ना कि हम corporate responsibility में भी economic performance को कहीं नहीं छोड़े और we are as concerned about the economic performance as we are concerned about the social and environmental performance. बिल्कुल उसी तरीके से जब आप sustainability development की बात करते हैं, sustainable development की बात करते हैं, उसमें भी आप economic growth, environmental protection and social equality की बात करेंगे। Now, while many people agree that each of these three ideas contribute to the overall idea of sustainability, it is difficult to find evidence of equal levels of initiatives for the three pillars in countries' policies worldwide. That basically says that yes, you and I and everybody in this world is going to agree that social equality, environmental protection and economic growth are extremely important to sustainable development. However, the irony is that the importance given to all these three is not equal, or the policies which are made with reference to all these three are not the same. Because अगर आप इन तीनों को equal importance देंगे, that will be a state जहाँ पर आपकी economies and आपकी government truly sustainable development के लिए काम करेंगी। लेकिन reality में होता क्या है कि आपकी policies भी तीनों को same importance नहीं देती and individuals या policy makers या governments भी इन तीनों को same importance नहीं देती। ज़्यादा importance economic growth को दी जाती है, then social equality की बात आती है, and then finally जब टाइम होता है तो आपकी environmental protection की बात आती है। So that is what we say, that while many people agree that each of these three ideas contribute to the overall idea of sustainability, it is difficult to find evidence of equal levels of initiatives for the three pillars in countries' policies worldwide. So it's not just Pakistan we're talking about, we're talking of the entire world. सारे दुनिया में इन तीनों pillars को same importance नहीं दी जाती और इन तीनों के बारे में जो policies बनती हैं वो भी same नहीं होती हैं। Now, with that thing in mind, with the overwhelming number of countries that put economic growth on the forefront of sustainable development, it is evident that the other two pillars have been suffering, especially with the overall well-being of the environment in a dangerously unhealthy state. So, जो हमने पहले भी बात की कि since countries are giving more importance to economic growth and less importance to environmental protection and social equality, तो automatically social equality और environmental protection suffer करते हैं, and because they're suffering, that is why आपके concept of corporate responsibility are becoming important today. That is why concept of corporate responsibility are becoming the focus of so many research and are becoming the focus of so many discussions. And today's stakeholders feel that it is not economic growth, बल्कि आपको environmental protection और social equality के बारे में भी उतना ही importantly सोचना पड़ेगा जितना ज़्यादा आप economic growth के बारे में सोचते हैं। Now the Brundtland Commission has put forth a conceptual framework that many nations agree with and want to try to make a difference within their countries, but it has been difficult to change these concepts about sustainability into concrete actions and programs. So what we're trying to say here is that yes, Brundtland report जो थी, Brundtland Commission जो था, it has made a tremendous impact, or it has given a lot of input into the concept of sustainable development. लेकिन question ये कि जी उसकी commission की report पर what were the concrete actions and concrete programs that were initiated by governments and that were initiated by countries, वहाँ पर एक बहुत बड़ा question mark आता है, because a lot of countries still do not see the importance of sustainable development and sustainability. Implementing sustainable development globally is still a challenge, but because of the Brundtland Commission efforts, progress has been made. After releasing their report, Our Common Future, the Brundtland Commission called for an international meeting to take place where more concrete initiatives and goals could be mapped out. This meeting was held in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. A comprehensive plan of action known as Agenda 21 came out of the meeting. Agenda 21 entailed actions to be taken globally, nationally and locally in order to make life on Earth more sustainable going into the future. So the first initiative was the Brundtland Commission report. That was the first thing that was done with respect to sustainability. First concrete step taken with respect to sustainability. However, उसमें भी उसकी जो कमीशन की रिपोर्ट में जो गाइडलाइंस थी, जो recommendations थी, they were very difficult to implement और कोई concrete programs और actions नहीं लिए गए. So the commission said कि in order to ensure कि जी the commitment to sustainability continues, they called for an international meeting which took place in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. And the result of that meeting was Agenda 21. And Agenda 21 basically gave countries and economies a detailed action plan with reference to globally, with reference to their own country, and with reference to how to implement or how to contribute towards sustainability on a local level. So local level पर, national level पर और international level पर Agenda 21 ने आपको action plan दे दिया कि आप किस तरीके से इन तीनों levels पर sustainability के लिए काम कर सकते हैं. And the purpose of Agenda 21 was simply to make life on Earth more sustainable, so that the future generations would get the same kind of environments, the same kind of societies that we are getting, so that हम अपने future generations के लिए चीज़ों को खराब ना कर सकें. Now the next 3 slides I guess will just tell you कि जो हमने 3 pillars of sustainable development की बात की थी, economic growth and environmental protection and social equality, उनमें कौन-कौन सी चीज़ें included हैं, that is what we are going to talk about. Now, economic growth is the pillar that most groups focus on when attempting to attain more sustainable efforts in development. This is what we've discussed earlier as well. Okay, more focus or more importance is given to economic growth and not to social equality and economic the environmental protection. So आप ज़्यादा companies, ज़्यादा countries, ज़्यादा economies जो हैं वो आपके economic growth को ही focus करती हैं. In trying to build their economies, many countries focus their efforts on resource extraction, which leads to unsustainable efforts for environmental protection as well as economic growth sustainability. Now this basically means that whenever you're working for the economy or whenever you're building your economy, all that you are concerned with is natural resource extraction. आपके primary purpose focus क्या होता है कि जी आप कितने जल्दी raw material को extract कर लोगे from its जहाँ पर वो है. So natural resource extraction पर focus है. And you're not thinking कि जी जब आप उसको extract कर लोगे तो आपके environment पर क्या adverse effect पड़ेंगे. For example, all that your focus is with cutting trees. But when you cut trees, it has a lot of negative impact on the environment. आपकी soil erosion होती है, आपकी general atmosphere पर फर्क पड़ता है. So अगर आप सिर्फ economic growth के बारे में सोचोगे, you will all be concerned about cutting trees and how much trees you cut in a day. But you will not be concerned कि जी मेरी environmental atmosphere का क्या फर्क पड़ा है, मेरी soil erosion कैसी हो रही है, मेरी environmental degradation हो रही है या नहीं हो रही, because आपका focus ही सिर्फ environmental growth पर है. While the Commission was able to help to change the association between economic growth and resource extraction, the total worldwide consumption of resources is projected to increase in the future. So much of the natural world has already been converted into human use that the focus cannot simply remain on economic growth and omit the ever-growing problem of environmental sustainability. Again, what the organizations, when they only focus on the economic growth, they fail to realize that अगर सिर्फ economic growth को focus करेंगे, there will come a time जब natural resources नहीं रहेंगी, when societies नहीं रहेंगी, जब natural environment ही नहीं रहेगी. And then again, if there are no societies, if there are no natural environments, then will the business be able to survive? That's the question that businesses need to ask themselves. Agenda 21 reinforces the importance of finding ways to generate economic growth without hurting the environment. through various trade negotiations such as improving access to markets for exports of developing countries, Agenda 21 looks to increase economic growth sustainability in countries that need it most. So basically Agenda 21 looked at alternate sources of economic growth कि जी हम जो हमारी ट्रेडिशनल सोर्सेज हैं उनके अलावा आप क्रिएटिविटी और इनोवेशन यूज़ करके व्हाट आर द वेरियस अदर वेज थ्रू विच आप इकोनॉमिक रिसोर्सेज कर सकते हैं. टुडे अ लॉट ऑफ कंट्रीज आर एक्चुअली फॉलोइंग दैट. जब आप टोयोटा की बात करते हैं या शेल या कैलटेक्स की बात करते हैं, दीज आर ऑल कंपनीज विच आर पुटिंग इन अ लॉट ऑफ मनी फॉर रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट इन फाइंडिंग ऑल्टरनेट फ्यूल्स सो दैट अगर आप पेट्रोल की बात करते हैं या ऑयल की एक्सट्रैक्शन की बात करते हैं, दैट्स अगेन यूजिंग अ नेचुरल रिसोर्स फॉर इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ. सो और अगेन वो ऑयल जो है वो कितना होगा, जिस तरीके से लोग बढ़ रहे हैं, जिस तरीके से गाड़ियां बढ़ रही हैं, जिस तरीके से आपकी यूजेज ट्रांसपोर्टेशन की जो रिक्वायरमेंट बढ़ रही है, मोस्ट प्रोबेबली देयर विल कम अ टाइम जहां पर आपका ऑयल जो है वो इतना हो ही नहीं सकेगा कि सबकी नीड्स को फुलफिल कर सके. सो दीज कंपनीज आर ऑटोमेटिकली आर लुकिंग फॉर न्यूअर वेज एंड न्यूअर मीन्स टू accomplish their goals and meet their objectives. The environmental protection is basically environmental protection has become more important to government and businesses over the last 20 years. In the last 20 years, environmental protection has literally taken a front seat with the organizations, leading to great improvements in the number of people willing to invest in green technologies. For the second year in a row in 2010, the United States and Europe added more power capacity from renewable sources such as wind and solar. Now this is where again, let's just complete this and then we can discuss what happens or what is happening in Pakistan. In 2011, the efforts continued with 45 new wind energy projects beginning in 25 different states. The focus on environmental protection has transpired globally as well as including a great deal of investment in renewable energy power capacity. Eco-city development occurring around the world has helped to develop and implement water conservation, smart grids with renewable energy sources, LED street lights, and energy-efficient building. The consumption gap between remains consisting of the fact that roughly 80% of the natural resources used each year are consumed by about 20% of the world population. This level is striking and still needs to be addressed now and throughout the future. If I need to explain to you this, I don't know where you guys are living, but I live in Islamabad and I've been living here for quite some while now. And when I go out at night, if I'm driving, there are no street lights. क्यों नहीं है? आप और मैं शायद एक ही रीज़न देंगे कि जी घरों में तो बिजली आती नहीं है, तो स्ट्रीट लाइट्स कैसे जलेंगी? But have we ever questioned कि पाकिस्तान में सोलर लाइट्स, सूरज की रोशनी कितनी है? Why has nobody thought कि जी हम अपनी सारी स्ट्रीट लाइट्स को सोलर पर कन्वर्ट कर दें? उस केस में आपकी लाइट भी चलेगी और आपकी एनर्जी या आपकी जो इलेक्ट्रिसिटी है, जो रेगुलर इलेक्ट्रिसिटी है, वो भी यूज़ नहीं होगी. हमने कभी सोचा, हमने कभी ध्यान दिया इस बात पर? पाकिस्तान इज़ वन कंट्री जहाँ पर आपको ऑल ईयर राउंड सनलाइट मिलती है. मोस्ट ऑफ द सिटीज़ इन पाकिस्तान आर लाइक दैट. हमने क्या सोलर एनर्जी की तरफ बात की? सोलर सेल्स या सोलर एनर्जी को यूज़ करने के लिए बात की? सिमिलरली विंड एनर्जी की बात करें, अब तो शायद पाकिस्तान में 2-3 जगह ऐसी हैं जहाँ पर विंड एनर्जी या एनर्जी विंड से एक्सट्रैक्ट की जा रही है. बट डू यू थिंक वो 1-2 जगह काफ़ी है? वो 2-3 प्रोजेक्ट्स काफ़ी हैं? विद the energy crisis that this nation is facing, and it has now been facing it for at least 3, 4, 5 years, पहले से वो फेस कर रहा है. क्या किया, क्या हुआ, क्या सोचा? And that is what environmental protection is. एक बात तो ये होती है कि आप environment को protect करें, because आप जब आप regular sources of energy use करते हैं तो आप oil या gas use करते हैं. That means अपने oil reserves को ख़त्म करें, अपने gas reserves को ख़त्म करें. लेकिन जब आप alternate energy की बात करते हैं तो wind is never going to end. या सोलर एनर्जी तो हमेशा वहाँ पर रहेगी. सो यू नीड टू कीप ऑन थिंकिंग. ना डेवलप्ड वर्ल्ड क्या करती हैं कि वो अपनी नेचुरल रिजर्व्स, अपने गैस रिजर्व्स और अपने ऑयल रिजर्व्स को सेव करने के लिए ऑल्टरनेट सोर्सेज ऑफ एनर्जी पर जाती हैं. और हमारी जैसी कंट्री, एक डेवलपिंग कंट्री को क्या करना चाहिए? इट शुड रियली सी कि जी सोर्सेज कम हो रही हैं, रिसोर्सेज ख़त्म हो रही हैं, हम कैसे शिफ्ट कर सकते हैं दूसरी नई रिन्यूएबल एनर्जी सोर्सेज की तरफ, जो कि ना सिर्फ नेशन को हेल्प करेंगी इन टर्म्स ऑफ प्रोवाइडिंग देम विद इलेक्ट्रिसिटी, बट आपकी एनवायरमेंटल प्रोटेक्शन भी होगी, बिकॉज जब आप ऑयल ड्रिलिंग करते हैं तो फिर आपका कितनी एनवायरनमेंट खराब होता है, कितनी मशीनरी यूज कर रहे हैं, कितना ऑयल यूज कर रहे हैं। लेकिन जब आप सन और विंड एनर्जी यूज करेंगे तो आप एनवायरनमेंट को कंजर्व करेंगे इंस्टेड ऑफ एनवायरनमेंट को स्पॉइल करने के। सो दैट इज व्हाट एनवायरमेंटल प्रोटेक्शन इज, एंड आई जस्ट इन दिस पर्टिकुलर स्लाइड यू विल सी व्हाट दीज कंट्रीज आर डूइंग। आपको एग्जैक्टली पता चलेगा कि डेवलप्ड कंट्रीज, यूएस एंड यूरोपियन कंट्रीज क्या कर रही हैं, मतलब कि and then you will realize and maybe even feel sorry कि as a nation हम कहाँ हैं, हम क्या कर रहे हैं, where are हमारे वो individuals कहाँ हैं जो ये सब चीज़ें सोचेंगे। It's not कि हमारे पास सोचने वाले लोग या करने वाले लोग नहीं हैं, it's just bad governance actually, it's just bad policy making actually कि क्या हो रहा है और कैसे हो रहा है। So that is what your second pillar of sustainability is, जो कि पाकिस्तान में तो खैर majorly ignore होता है। The third one is social equality. The social equality pillar of sustainable development focuses on the social well-being of people. The growing gap between incomes of rich and poor is evident throughout the world, with the incomes of richer households increasing relative to the incomes of middle or lower class households. Global inequality has been declining, but the world is still extremely unequal, with the richest 1% of the world population owning. Global inequality has been declining, but the world is still extremely unequal, with the richest 1% of the world's population owning 40% of the world's wealth, and the poorest 50% owning around 1% only. The Brundtland Commission has made an impact in helping to reduce the number of people living on less than $1 a day. So basically, हम social equality की बात करते हैं. We want to reduce the gap between the people who have it and the people who do not have it. We want to reduce the gap between the rich and the poor. Now what is actually happening is that the richest 1% of the world owe 40% of the world's wealth. That means 8% most rich people in this world owe 40 or own 40% of the world's wealth, and that just shows the inequality between the rich and the poor, the people who have it all and people who do not have it at all. Right? So the third pillar of sustainability is social equality. Countries, economies, businesses, to achieve sustainability and to have sustainable development in a country and an economy, it is extremely important कि आप अपनी social inequality जो है वो ख़त्म करें, आप ये gap, ये variation between the rich and the poor को reduce करें. अगर ख़त्म नहीं कर सकते, ख़त्म तो शायद कभी भी नहीं हो सकती, but reduce ज़रूर हो सकती है, and that is what is needed. Now अगर मैं आपसे ये पूछूं कि मैं आपसे ये क्वेश्चन करूं कि आपका क्या ख्याल है कि पाकिस्तान with reference to sustainability, where does it stand? या with reference to sustainable development, where does Pakistan stand? What will you answer me? What will you tell me? With reference to economic growth, with reference to environmental protection, and with reference to social equality, where do we stand? Are we moving towards sustainability, or are we moving away from sustainability? Are we working for sustainable development, or are we working against sustainable development? That is something for you to think. And that is where these or such type of courses are important, because हम आपको आज aware करेंगे, हम आपको आज sensitive करेंगे, तो कल when you're working in organizations, when you have your own organizations, when you're working as entrepreneurs or when you're working as managers, आप automatically इन सब चीज़ों को अपने जहन में रखते हुए, अपने value system में रखते हुए, you will work for sustainability and not against it. You will work for sustainable development and not against sustainable development. So जब आप बात करते हैं sustainability की, तो उसमें बर्टलैंड रिपोर्ट बहुत ज़्यादा important रोल प्ले करते हैं. और बर्टलैंड रिपोर्ट और जो एजेंडा 21 है, उसको हम आपके साथ डिस्कस कर ही चुके हैं कि what is the importance of it और उसकी क्या implications हैं और what are the factors जो कि उन चीज़ों में contribute करती हैं. The second thing जो कि sustainability development के लिए ज़रूरी है या sustainability के लिए ज़रूरी है is to have achievement targets or goals within a specific time frame. So एक तो हो गया कि हमने sustainability को define कर दिया. So that was one thing that people did for sustainability. On the other hand, sustainability की vagueness को ख़त्म करने के लिए, sustainability को ensure करने के लिए, the second very important thing is that you or we all need to have achievement targets. We need to have goals and we need to be given time frames कि जी इस time के अंदर, इस time frame के अंदर आपने ये goals and ये targets achieve करने हैं. Because if with reference to sustainability and sustainability development, if we are not given time-bound objectives and if we are not given time-bound targets, then what will happen is that sustainability or the quest for sustainability is going to go on forever and we'll never be able to know कि क्या हम sustainable हुए या हम sustainable नहीं हुए because हम इस end point पर reach ही नहीं करेंगे. So that is why goals becomes extremely important. That is why goals with specific time frames become extremely important. Now इस case में there are certain goals and certain targets and certain time frames which have been set by international organizations with reference to sustainability and sustainable development. Now certain illustration of such analysis can be seen in the three sets of goals that use different time horizons. So different time horizons, different time frames have been given in these in the following three goals with reference to sustainability and sustainable development. The short-term goal 2015 of the Millennium Declaration of the United Nations. So this is the short-term goal जो कि 2015 तक है. 2013 start हो गया, 2 साल और आपके short-term goals जो हैं as declared by the Millennium Declaration of the UN. It is in the next 2 of your books, you can have a look at it. The 2 generation goals 2050 of the Sustainability Transition of the Board on Sustainable Development. So that's your medium, sort of a medium term goal, जो कि 2050 तक का है. And then the long term goals beyond 2050 of the Great Transition of the Global Scenario Group. So in order to have sustainability or in order to sort of work towards sustainability, 2 चीज़ें ज़रूरी थी. एक sustainability की definition और एक टाइम बाउंड गोल्स. सस्टेनेबिलिटी की डेफिनेशन में आपकी बर्टलैंड कमीशन ने बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट बर्टलैंड रिपोर्ट ने बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रोल प्ले किया. आपकी एजेंडा 21 ने बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट रोल प्ले किया. सो द फर्स्ट एस्पेक्ट वाज टेकन केयर ऑफ. द सेकंड एस्पेक्ट वाज दैट यू नीडेड अ टाइम फ्रेम, यू नीडेड targets, you needed time bound targets to be achieved with reference to sustainability. और उस केस में आपके इन तीनों जो आपके गोल्स हैं उन्होंने शॉर्ट टर्म गोल्स, medium term goals and long term goals. Short term goals was what is to be achieved with reference to sustainability by 2015, what is to be achieved with reference to sustainability by 2050, and what is to be achieved with reference to sustainability after 2050. And इनकी importance जानने के लिए I guess you can automatically relate them with the goals and objectives that organizations have. क्योंकि organizations के भी आपके short term goals होते हैं, medium term goals होते हैं, long term goals होते हैं. Now एक organization से अगर आप ये तीनों type के goals ले लें and if the organization does not have the short term, the medium term and the long term goals, where will the organization stand? What will the organization do? Do you think that organization will be successful? No, I don't. I don't think so that they will be successful. Similarly, sustainability initiatives की success के लिए, so that they are successfully understood and they are successfully implemented and most importantly, they are successfully monitored, you need to have time-bound targets and you need to have time-bound goals and objectives, and those goals and objectives are what these are. Again, अगर आप इन तीनों गोल्स को इंटरनेट पर सर्च करेंगे, यू विल गेट अ लॉट ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन ऑन दीज गोल्स एंड दैट विल हेल्प यू अ लॉट. आपकी जो नॉलेज बेस है वो बहुत ज़्यादा इंक्रीज होगी. सो फाइनली कंक्लूडिंग, अगर हम सस्टेनेबिलिटी को कंक्लूड करें, corporations have to look beyond the bottom line if they want significant improvement in their bottom line. So that is what the crux is, or that is what the summary is, that I agree that organizations should focus on their bottom line. They should focus, or they should, the financial bottom line is the ultimate objective for a company. Yeah, जब हम business, I teach introduction to business as well, and the very first definition of a business that I give to my students is businesses make profit. Simplest, most easiest definition. Now, that is true actually. You can't deny the fact that businesses are made to earn profit. नाउ पहले प्रॉफिट की डेफिनेशन फर्क थी। पहले प्रॉफिट मेकिंग के लिए आपको अपने फंक्शनल एरिया सही करने, प्रोडक्शन, प्रोक्योरमेंट, रॉ मटेरियल, मार्केटिंग, सेल्स, फाइनेंस, एचआर, इन सब चीज़ों को अच्छा होना चाहिए था। जब ये सारे ऑपरेशंस, जब ये सारे फंक्शंस, जब ये सारे फंक्शनल एरियाज अगर सही से काम करेंगे, ऑटोमेटिकली आपकी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन प्रॉफिटेबल होगी, बट नॉट एनी मोर. This equation is not true today, because today corporate responsibility or responsible business or sustainable development has added a complete new dimension on how people should do business. And अगर individuals and businessmen अगर सिर्फ एक traditional view of business को देखेंगे और सिर्फ उन्हीं functional areas के बारे में सोचेंगे, they will never be successful and they will never be profitable. On the other hand, अगर contemporary view of business को देखेंगे जहाँ पर sustainability, sustainable development, corporate responsibility are as important as marketing, sales, finance, HR, procurement, operations, research and development, then that is the business that will succeed today. That is the business that will be profitable today. That is the business which is going to have a forward looking approach towards things. And that is what we mean when I say that corporations have to look beyond the bottom line if they want significant improvement in their bottom line. So आपको अपनी financial performance से आगे सोचना पड़ेगा, आपको अपनी financial bottom line से आगे देखना पड़ेगा if you want improvements in your financial bottom line. If you want improvements in your business, you have to look beyond the finances and the profitability and the revenues of your business. So that is what we mean by sustainability, because sustainability today is not a concept that can be ignored. Sustainability today is not something that can be taken for granted. Sustainability today, you cannot fool your stakeholders. You cannot say कि अच्छा हम sustainable development की तरफ focused हैं और आप बाकी सारे काम करें sustainability ना करें, because today your stakeholder is very well aware. Today, your stakeholder is very knowledgeable. Today, your stakeholder knows exactly what sustainability is and what sustainable development is. And again, इसमें आपकी मीडिया का, आपकी एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशंस का, आपकी नॉट फॉर प्रॉफिट ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस का, सबका बहुत रोल है. बट एंड रिजल्ट इज जब आपका स्टेक होल्डर नॉलेजेबल है तो आप उसको बेवकूफ़ क्यों बनाएं? जब आपका स्टेक होल्डर कॉर्पोरेट रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी के बारे में इंटरेस्टेड है तो आप उसकी नीड को क्यों नहीं फुलफिल करें? जब आपका स्टेक होल्डर एक ऐसी कंपनी में, बिकॉज रिमेंबर दैट we say when we teach marketing that a company should produce goods and services that the customer needs and wants, because the objective of the business is to fulfill the needs of the customer, to fulfill the wants of the customer in whichever manner possible. If that is true, then फिर तो ये सेंस बनती है ना कि अगर आपका कस्टमर, आपका स्टेक होल्डर आज कॉर्पोरेट रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी के बारे में इंटरेस्टेड है या कॉर्पोरेट रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी to it, if the stakeholder is focused towards corporate responsibility, and if the stakeholder wants organizations to be more responsible towards their society and their environments, then तो automatically organizations को चाहिए ना कि वो responsible behavior show करें, वो corporate responsibility initiatives undertake करें और वो सारे काम करें जिससे आपका stakeholder खुश और satisfied हो सकता है. So that is what the crux of the discussion today is कि जी आपकी corporations को अगर वो improvements in bottom line चाहती हैं, then they would have to look at so many other things in addition to the economic performance of the company. The next thing that we're going to talk about is how can we integrate corporate social responsibility in organizations, guidelines, किस तरीके से हम इंटीग्रेट कर सकते हैं ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस में CSR. उसको इंटीग्रेट करने के हमारे पास बेसिकली 3 तरीके होते हैं, विच इज़ थ्रू ISO 26000, थ्रू द ट्रिपल बॉटम लाइन अप्रोच और थ्रू द ट्रिपल लूप लर्निंग. सो I'm not going to go through all these approaches today in this lecture, but yes, I would be continuing from exactly this slide when I meet you next time in the next lecture. So before I say my goodbyes, let me just give you a very quick recap of what we've done in this lecture. What we're doing in this lecture is कि हमने basically पहले capitalism और socialism को discuss करते हुए हमने capitalism को reinvent किया, जिसमें corporate responsibility का बहुत important aspect को हमने integrate किया capitalism के साथ. Later on हमने कहा, हमने sustainability की बात की, we defined various different definitions, or we gave you various different definitions of sustainability. और हमने Bertland Commission की बात की, which जिसने sustainability के लिए बहुत important काम किया, whereby it defined or it gave the world the right definition of sustainability. उसके बाद हमने Agenda 21 को भी डिस्कस किया, और हमने ये भी देखा कि आपकी ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस को सिर्फ सस्टेनेबिलिटी के लिए भी काम नहीं करना, लेकिन ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस एंड गवर्नमेंट्स शुड बी गिवन अ टाइमलाइन विद रेफरेंस टू सस्टेनेबिलिटी, और फिर हमने उन टाइमलाइंस या उन शॉर्ट टर्म गोल्स को भी डिस्कस किया. एंड देन वी फाइनली सेड दैट द कंपनीज, इफ दे वांट इम्प्रूवमेंट्स इन देयर बॉटम लाइन्स, दे हैव टू लुक बियॉन्ड द बॉटम लाइन्स एज वेल एंड फोकस ऑन द social performance, the environmental performance and the governance performance in addition to the economic performance of the company. And that is the only way that companies in 2013 and onwards can move forward, can achieve profitabilities and can grow as an organization or as an enterprise. So I'm going to end my lecture here today. I'm going to talk about all these things that you're seeing on the slide when I see you next time. So till next time, you really take care of yourself. Allah Hafiz.